Hey guys, and welcome to today's idiot video. Today we are going to be discussing a video posted by YouTube user Watachi Running Free titled NASA Finally Admits the Moon is in Earth's Atmosphere. Now I know I already covered this topic in my last video, but there were some key facts that I left out to use in this video. So if you haven't watched that video, you should do so after this one, because like Truth Soldier, Watachi Running Free is a flat earth idiot. So let's begin.
2 or 3 years ago, over when I was still living in Indianapolis, and all the people I grew up with, went to school with and everything, I was telling them all about how we weren't on a spherical earth, we were on a flat earth.
I've said this in previous videos. Flat earthers have a need and a desire to feel unique, like they have a secret inside knowledge that no one else possesses, mixed with the desire to spread the information with every social encounter they have. It even trumps the need for a healthy social life with friends and family. In my opinion, flat earthers are people who suffer from higher needs for uniqueness than the average person, which is also why flat earth idiots are usually conspiratards as well.
The sun and the moon were both inside the Earth's atmosphere, just like it says in the Bible.
But it doesn't say that the sun and the moon are in the Earth's atmosphere in the Bible, you religitard idiot. I'm still waiting for at least one of these religious fundamentalists to provide actual scripture saying that the sun and the moon are located beneath the Kármán line.
And yes, I was made fun of to no end. Oh my God, they talked about how stupid I was.
Well, they do know you better than I do. But if one of my family members came up to me telling me that the earth is flat and the moon is in our atmosphere, I'd probably call them stupid too. Because blood related or not, if you believe the earth is flat, you're an idiot.
It was just endless of how stupid I was and how smart they were.
I'm sure they weren't bragging about how smart they were, as it's more likely they were just bragging about how much smarter than you they were. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that the earth is a globe, but it does take an idiot to think that it's flat.
Because they followed by the bullshit brainwashing that they get in these public schools and these colleges.
Normally, I would give this guy a hard time for saying brainwashing, but I'm from Texas and even I say things a bit weird. However, having a trailer park accent is no excuse for being jealous of people who are smarter than you. This is typical with people who can't accept the fact that they will never have a chance to be the next Einstein. So they blame their ignorance and stupidity on the education system itself, because in a narcissistic person's mind, and flat earthers are very narcissistic, there is no possible way they could be the reason that they are so stupid.
Well, I want all of you to do your research again now.
Why? Why would we need to do our research again? This new information isn't even really new information, as we've been well aware of the geocorona since 1972. The only difference is that we now have a better understanding of its size and structure. I really wish flat earthers made it past the headlines of an article before accusing us of intellectual dishonesty and deception. But that's asking a lot of flat earthers, because flat earthers are idiots.
Because it just came out that even the scientists are now agreeing that the moon itself is inside the Earth's atmosphere.
Oh my goodness, you're such an idiot. In this video, I am going to use a similar analogy as the bathwater and the shoes example from my last video. If you were suntanning next to a pool of water and someone jumped into the pool and splashed water on you, are you actually considered to be inside of the pool? Or is it that some of the pool water has splashed you? The article is not saying that the moon is actually inside of the atmosphere, but that atmospheric particles from the Earth's atmosphere are splashing the moon's surface.
Now they're not saying that the moon has moved any. It's still 236,000 miles away.
For those of you who caught my error in the last video, good catch. For some reason, I said the moon was 285,000 miles away when it is actually 238,000 miles away. So this stings for me. But what exactly is this idiot saying? That scientists are now saying that the Kármán line and clouds reach an elevation of 238,000 miles away? He'll answer this for us later in the video.
They're just saying now that our atmosphere goes out 390-some thousand miles now, where they were wrong before.
So the only information that has actually changed was the size and structure of the geocorona, like we have been saying since the beginning? We have known that atmospheric particles sparsely cover the moon. This is known as an exosphere. What we didn't know was how dense this sparsely filled area of hydrogen was. Keep in mind, at sea level, the density of molecules of atmosphere is approximately 2.7 times 10 to the 19th molecules per cubic centimeter. Whereas with this new information, scientists believe the density of the atmospheric molecules on the moon's surface is a whopping 0.2 molecules per cubic centimeter. So this information is nothing new. It just updates what we already know.
You know, they tell us they send, the space station sitting at 60 miles up.
Watachi running free, you're a f***ing idiot. Nobody says that the ISS is at an elevation of 60 miles. We say it's at an elevation of approximately 250 miles. Now, I'm not sure if this guy is smart enough to be intentionally intellectually dishonest, so we'll just chalk this up to his stupidity.
I've always called it lower orbit, if it even exists.
Oh, it exists. We checked. Red's Rhetoric and Astronomy Live made independent but simultaneous observations of an ISS traversal across the face of the moon, and used those observations with just a bit of trigonometry to determine the actual height of the ISS, and it is not 60 miles up. A link to the Red's Rhetoric and Astronomy Live observation video will be in the description.
But they call it space. They say all their satellites are flying in space, which I called bullshit on that too, and everybody made fun of me on that too.
You ever stop to think that maybe people are laughing at you because you say stupid shit like satellites don't exist when you have absolutely no evidence to support that? Most young adults in America and the UK have used GPS at some point in their life, which only works with satellites orbiting the Earth. But jackass idiots like Watachi Smokes a Lot continue to deny that space nor satellites can possibly exist.
You know, they think all their damn phones and GPSs and everything run off of satellites, and their cable or satellite TV. They think all that is run from space.
Recently on the Non Sequitur show, I was involved in a debate where I took azimuthal and elevation data from a satellite TV online installation guide to prove that the height of the DirecTV satellites are well above the Kármán line, and that the Earth is a globe. Those types of satellites are in geocentric orbit over the equator, meaning they remain above the same spot at all times. If the satellite wasn't located in the exact position where it's supposed to be, there would be major interruptions in service and satellite TV simply would not work. And until you can show a way for GPS to work in the middle of the ocean without satellites orbiting the Earth, I'll continue to believe that satellites are real, stupid people like Watachi running free actually exist, and flat earthers are idiots.
And when I told them they was all crazy, oh, they just convinced themselves how much smarter they were, and hell, I must be autistic or something, or just flat out retarded, I guess.
If only they would have called you an idiot. Now that would have made my day. But you do get a ding for calling yourself flat out retarded in your own video. And I'm sure they aren't laughing at you because they think they're smarter than you, but they're laughing at you because you think you're smarter than a scientist because you watched a couple of Rob Skiba's videos. Well, flat earthers, I hate to tell you this, but Rob Skiba's an idiot too.
But the majority of you with your college educations and your high school educations won't even have a clue at what the second law of thermodynamics is. So I'll kind of give you an idea.
Oh boy, this hillbilly science denying idiot thinks he's about to teach us about the second law of thermodynamics. Be sure to get your oven mitts and face protection ready.
You cannot have a pressurized gas next to a the vacuum of space and without a container holding the pressurized gas on the planet, on the Earth, not the planet, because there's no such thing.
And you are a f***ing idiot. First off, vacuums in the physics sense don't suck. Science denying flat earth idiots? Now they suck. Second, when discussing a container, you're actually talking about the forces that are holding the container together. If the force pushing out from the pressurized gases exceeds the force holding the container together, the container will rip apart. In our globe Earth reality, the force of gravity acts as the container.
But in all these years, they've been violating their own second law of thermodynamics by saying that's possible, that space is right next to our atmosphere.
The argument that this violates the second law of thermodynamics is completely wrong, because this actually has nothing to do with entropy. Flat earthers see the similarities and assume the correlation, but flat earthers are idiots. But to address the argument, the pressure differential between the edge of the atmosphere and the vacuum of space is minimal, as the atmosphere has a gradient that approaches a pressure that is similar to the pressure in the vacuum of space. Now, to address the ability to have a pressurized volume next to a volume with a lower pressure, let me show you this video, which shows the denser and higher pressure gas sulfur hexafluoride next to the less dense and lower pressure atmosphere. There is no need for a container between the atmosphere and the sulfur hexafluoride, just as there is no need for a container to hold down the Earth's atmosphere because gravity exists.
But our atmosphere stays on the Earth because of gravity, which they can't prove gravity either.
Watachi running free, you are a f***ing idiot. Why is it that flat earthers say that gravity has never been proven? Well, maybe it's because proof is determined by the evaluator of the evidence, and no matter how much evidence is presented to support the presence of an accelerating force downwards, flat earthers could never bring themselves to accept it, and with that same subhuman logic, accept the flat earth model with nothing but YouTube videos and anecdotal evidence feeding their need for uniqueness.
But you guys truly believe that gravity's what's holding you on to this flying ball spinning at 1,000 miles an hour.
And you idiots truly believe we are living in a human sanctuary akin to an ant farm with our only purpose in life to worship some demented jackass who apparently has the power to do anything and everything, but still gets his kicks from trapping us in a snow globe, tormenting us with earthquakes and hurricanes, all while starving children across the globe.
And I guess you think, what do they call it, centrifugal force is keeping the moon in place.
Wrong again, idiot. I think the word you are looking for is centripetal force. From a Newtonian standpoint, the centrifugal force is technically what keeps the moon going in a circle around the Earth. As if it lost its tangential velocity, it would simply fall to the surface of the planet due to the centripetal force tugging on the moon. Also known as
gravity, you f***ing retard! Gravity! Have you ever heard of f***ing gravity? Gravity! Gravity!
How the moon affects the tides.
Dude, you are all over the f***ing place. If the moon didn't affect the tides, then why is the position of the moon in the sky directly related to the high and low tides we experience on Earth? We can explain both high and low tides with the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun, so if you can better explain how this is possible using something other than gravity, I'd love to hear it, as you would be the first flat earth idiot ever to explain what we already know.
All this crap that you've been lied to about that I've been telling you, you've been lied to about everything.
Oh, I'm sure you tell everyone about everything they get wrong in life, and how there is no possible way that you could ever be possibly wrong about anything. Well, I hate to be the one that pisses in your Cheerios, but you are wrong, and you are more asleep than us woke sheep.
Man is a liar, and they lie to you to control you and take your belief of God out of the picture.
Man doesn't need to take God out of reality. Scientific discoveries are doing that on their own. It's dick nuggets like Watachi Running Free that would just prefer the simple life of wood-burning stoves, a dozen cartons of Marlboro Reds, and the good book of ignorance to the insanely difficult world of advanced science. But Watachi Running Free is an idiot.
Well, your scientists have now eaten their words.
Well, maybe that's because in science, when you make a new discovery, you kinda displace the previous paradigm. In this instance, it isn't really a new discovery, it's just a new understanding of something we already knew. Let's say, for instance, the moon is 10 million miles away. Well, there would still have been a scientific discovery, it just would have read Earth's geocorona is much larger than we thought. When you move the moon back into its place at 238,000 miles away from the Earth, the discovery doesn't change, except now the moon is inside of the discovery. And you tell me which headline is going to draw more public attention. Geocorona is larger, or moon is in Earth's atmosphere. So stop flipping out, have yourself several cigarettes, because the moon is not in Earth's atmosphere, and you are an idiot.
Matter of fact, they're going back and even saying, well, we knew this 20 years ago. The data was there, but we just didn't look at it close enough. But we've now looked at it, and the consensus are that the moon is within the atmosphere of the Earth.
And this is why I consistently and will forever say that flat earthers are idiots. They are all strawmanning con artists who lied to their cult followers. The article does not say that the moon is in our atmosphere below the Kármán line. It says that the Earth's atmospheric particles extend beyond the moon.
So you got to wonder, if the moon's within the atmosphere, do you think the chances the sun might be in the atmosphere too?
No, you f***ing idiot. If the sun was in the atmosphere, we would definitely feel the radiation coming from it. This is what happens when you don't have an education, but are too afraid of sounding like an ignoramus to ask someone who does. If the sun was in our atmosphere, there would never be any clouds around the sun, as they would all evaporate away from the intense heat. Airline flights wouldn't even be allowed on the daytime portion of the Earth, as the radiation exposure would be through the roof for all passengers, not to mention the fact that airplanes would have to avoid running into the sun when planning their flight paths. No one has ever photographed the sun or the moon in the clouds. There would be no way for everyone on Earth to even witness a dewy sunrise if the sun weren't really big and really far away. Why can't flat earthers come to grips with these observations when the ancient Aztecs, Egyptians, Persians, English, and Polynesian civilizations all understood this completely? I would like to know what you think, so leave a comment below letting me know whether you think he is willfully ignorant, he has a mental illness, or he's a self-delusional con man.
Maybe that's why there's so many videos and photos of clouds being behind the sun and the moon. You think that might be it?
I left this part out because I want you, the viewer, to see that this idiot actually believes that the sun and the moon are at cloud level. Stupidity like this should not be allowed to breed. Clouds appearing to be behind the sun and moon are easily fixed with a solar filter. This is because the sun is so bright that it exceeds what most cameras consider its maximum brightness it can process. If portions of clouds are brighter than the maximum brightness of the camera will see the clouds in front of the sun as just parts of the sun. When you add the solar filter, the brightness can be reduced to a point that the clouds that are missing all of the sudden reappear and the sun is always behind them. I'll leave a link to a Mick West video that shows an easy experiment you can do at home that explains this optical phenomenon.
Oh no, that couldn't be it, because scientists wouldn't lie about that.
Well, you're right about that. The general public, especially the idiots in flat earth, simply aren't important enough to lie to about something so insignificant. Flat earthers like to be narcissistic, so ask yourself this: what makes you so important that NASA needs to lie to you about the shape of the planet? Email your answers to idon'tcare@eatshit.com.
You know, the government wouldn't lie about nothing like that. You know, hell, jet fuel basically disintegrates 3 buildings, even one building that didn't have no jet fuel in it.
Are you really surprised that he's not only an expert in astronomy and thermodynamics, but he's also an expert in chemistry and metallurgy? How much do you want to bet that he got his degrees at YouTube University's Walmart campus? Quit thinking you understand science better than scientists do and accept the fact that to your family and friends, you're the village idiot.
All you people that been talking about how the moon landing happened, that's all true. And
Hold up. If the moon is less than 60 miles up, then why is it impossible for us to go to it? You didn't think about that one because idiots, by definition, don't use critical thinking before speaking.
and all calling me a liar and everything.
Well, if you aren't intentionally lying about what the article said, then you're unintentionally lying about it because you're an idiot. Because it doesn't say that the moon is in our atmosphere. It says that the atmospheric particles extend beyond the moon.
Or go ahead and eat a great big plate of that crow. Because now your own scientists say that the moon's in our atmosphere.
No, they didn't, and you're an idiot.
You just got to wonder if they're right about the distance.
Well, as long as the speed of light remains the same, which it will, we will continue to know the precise distance to the moon using powerful lasers and the retroreflectors left by the astronauts who actually went there.
Do you think? Have they been right about anything, or is it all made up bullshit?
Look, I'm not one to wish unfortunate situations on anyone, even a flat earth idiot, but you look and sound like you're only a few years away from either lung cancer or diabetes. I guess you will see how much science has gotten right then.
That's your choice. You have the free will to believe. You either believe in God, or you can still believe in your Big Bang bullshit theory. You can believe in your evolution bullshit theory. Just keep believing.
This is actually not what most biblical scholars think. Most believe the Big Bang, which happened to be coined by a Catholic scientist and priest by the name of George Lemaitre, is completely consistent with God creating the universe for man. The highest orders of religion are okay with God initiating the Big Bang and evolution as a natural process, but flat earth religitard idiots think they understand God better.
No other animal except for apes has ever changed from one kind to another kind.
We are not about to dive into speciation with an idiot who doesn't understand why you see the sun in the clouds in non-filtered pictures and videos. I'll just say this. We have direct evidence of speciation or evolution from one species into a new species all around us in both the plant and animal kingdom. I'll post a link in the description to a great Scientific America article that explains these findings in detail. Before we close this out, is there anything else you would like to share with us today?
It says in the Bible the truth will eventually be known by all.
Well, it also says that women can't preach and should be silent, that genocide is okay, that condemning homosexuals is the equivalent of a movie ticket to heaven, and that slaves should submit to their masters. While I believe that women can be just as prominent as men, genocide is not okay, although the planet could use a few less flat earth idiots. Homosexuals are normal people like you and I, and slavery is morally abhorrent, and I don't need a book to tell me so. Now I'd like to take the time out to thank Watachi Running Free for running out of comprehension skills when he was done looking at the pictures in the article. Because Watachi Running Free, you are a f***ing idiot. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around until the end. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and click the little dinger to stay notified of new content. Feel free to support the channel in your own way by becoming a member of the channel, a patron of the channel, or wearing official Team Skeptic merchandise. All the links will be in the description. I'm Father Skeptic, and I'm out.